in our usual programming at 10 p.m., but I had to watch The Bachelor. These are spoilers if you're not wanting to watch. I mean, if you're wanting to watch it and you haven't yet, just beware. I'm about to spoil it for you. But my intuition was right. From a very early episode, thought that the person um, who was picked by Joey, the Bachelor, was picked, and that is Kelsey. I, in a very early episode, was like, yeah, he likes her. But then, as time went by, and how much, like, Daisy was trying to get to know him, and their connection like grew. I was betting my mom that Daisy would be the one that gets picked. But no, it was the original choice of mine, Kelsey. I'm pretty good at predicting who will win The Bachelor or be picked by The Bachelor. And this is something that I'm not sure that I told my boyfriend or not, but I actually tried out to be a contestant on The Bachelor. This was way back when I was younger, obviously, and it was between Colton and Blake to be the Bachelor. And when I went, I actually told them that I wanted to have Blake as the Bachelor, to be the one choosing out of us girls. And they ended up picking Colton and not getting back to me, even though my interview was videotaped. It'd be kind of interesting to look back on that videotape if that is ever possible. But yeah, I like dressed up in a nice dress, sparkles, black and gold, and sweetheart neckline, and I was a lot skinnier and prettier back then, but yeah, I didn't get it, and that's probably a good thing. But you know who Blake ended up with is this girl from Love is Blind. I forgot her name, but she's like the one that dated Damon, and they were a couple for a while in Love is Blind, and then I guess she started dating Blake Horseman, and now they're about to have a baby. So everything works out how it's supposed to, I guess. And as for me, I'm still stuck in Stockton, and I am working and trying to launch this YouTube career. And I have animals and a house and a van and a boyfriend long distance. So that's my story, my portion of it. But it was so crazy how Daisy and Kelsey ended up going to the last rose together, because Daisy kind of figured that she wasn't the one, and then she gets out first and she tells him that she knows. And then what got me so much is like she told Kelsey that her mom is going to be looking down at this moment and she's going to be so proud. And like Daisy throughout the whole episode, like I was crying whenever she spoke. So that's pretty good television. And you know, when she came out to talk to Joey after the final rose, her voice was completely different. Her voice was like more tuned, more like feminine, less unique. So her voice was like more, because she has a cochlear implant, so she had just gotten that not too long ago and she was still adjusting to it throughout the whole season. And it was after the final rose was a year since she got it, so it gave her more time to be able to learn with it. So her voice had changed and she looked a little bit more glammed up, and they were kind of putting her as the bachelorette, the next bachelorette, but she was in the chair with Jesse next to her, and Jesse was asking, "Are you ready to be the next bachelorette?" And Daisy goes, "I am healthy and I'm happy, and those things have not been true for a long time, and that she's not ready to be the bachelorette." And I thought that was very smart of her, especially being sick myself. I know that you need to create limits for yourself and to know what you can and can't do mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And I think that was a good choice for her to just possibly be in a later show or something like that. But like when I was finally able to date in between hospital stays and different things like that, I was not as I was kind of like doing what Daisy did, where I like threw myself into it with, you know, she's going on the Bachelor, so she threw herself into dating, and I kind of did the same thing between hospital stays and during and all this stuff. And I think one of my problems is like I have like an addictive personality. Love is one of my drugs, and it's easy for me to just take it wherever I can, and they're valid feelings that I have for people, but it happens so often that I feel like it like is one of my vices, and so that's hard for me to quit too. Even with my boyfriend, I like create problems where there aren't really any problems, and that's me trying to like escape a good thing, and I like find other people to be friends with or like to hang out with, and like my mind does this weird thing, like I switch it up and like I'm like, oh, this person, like picturing futures with them for a split for like an hour or something, and then I'm like, wait a minute, no, my boyfriend is literally the best thing that ever happened to me. So I have that issue along with coinciding with like my mental health, and but who did get picked to be the Bachelorette is Jen. Jen is a girl that was one of the good, like a contender for Joey, and she was always so cheerful and energetic, and she will be the first Asian American woman to be on The Bachelorette. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, I don't know if I'll be watching. I do really need to like focus on other things in my life. Like it's a big commitment to just like watch it every Monday, but Joey was one of the best bachelors I've ever seen. Like he did such a good job. He's such a honorable, respectable guy. So I'm so happy how everything ended up, and he's happy with Kelsey. Kelsey is the girl who her mother passed away a few years ago, and she, as signs of her mother, sees butterflies around, and even just randomly she'll think of her mother, and she has a lot of good things to say about her and how her dad took care of her while she was sick with cancer. And I think that's a beautiful story, and lots of things like that happen to people. You lose someone and it's hard, and people should be gentler. Family members who have had struggles with dealing with grief basically told me that it's not my grief. So for me, in a situation, it's harder for me to, because that saying that it's not my grief is like that stole it away from me. That made my mindset really difficult, unable to grasp what was said to me, and the I think this is another thing that is wrong with our genes, is the addictive personality. I think a lot of what happens that is not fair is because of addiction, alcoholism, drugs. I don't know how deeply, but how broad of a spectrum drugs are, but in that area of my family, but definitely a lot of alcoholism in that specific family member. So I feel like my grief was stifled, and I still cry, and I know it's about that, and I know all of the good times that we've had. And I loved what Kelsey said, is like, grief is a souvenir of love. And I think that's always going to be with me for that situation. And um, um, and life doesn't stop. Like, life keeps going, and there's going to be multiple griefs and multiple souvenirs. Um, this weekend, I'm going to be visiting a family member who just lost someone, and it just feels like it's all at once, and like comes for the people who are not as close to you, but then and then comes for the people who are really, really close to you. And and it's hard. But yeah, I'm not gonna keep on. I'm not gonna keep going with this, but I'm gonna end it here. I'll talk to you later.